And welcome to 520 Sports Talk. We are here at Wings Over Broadway out east on the southeast corner of Camino Seco and Broadway in Tucson. The best wings by far of any wing joint in town. Crispy from bite one all the way to the last one. They've got great burgers. They've got good chicken sandwiches. And surprisingly, for not being a pizza place, they've got some of the best pizza in town. So if you're in the area, stop on by. Don't let the construction hold you back. It's pretty easy to get in here. And if you are watching from home or from another city or state, welcome. I got a Chicago call. I had to explain to them how to listen to it on their on the Facebook page. So we're glad the people in Tucson, the people in Chicago, or anywhere else that you're listening from are here. Tonight we have the Gregory School 1A state champions in basketball for the boys team. Really happy to have them. Wanted to get them on before, but these guys play multiple sports, and we love that, so it was definitely worth the wait. So before we get started, let me go into our sponsors real quick. Sparkle Cleaners, 11 locations that are convenient around Tucson, now offering home and business pickup of your dry cleaning and laundry. How easy is that? So call Sparkle Cleaners, Google it, or you can go to our 520sportstalk.com. Read the articles. Sparkle has a logo in there. Just click on it. It'll give you the contact information. Frog and Firkin, located in University Main Gate Square. Best outside dining, best pizza, voted by the Arizona Daily Star. This is where we have our Midtown shows. There's sports on TV all day, and actually there's something going on at the Frog every single day. Whether it's our show, it's karaoke, it's trivia, live music, obviously U of A sports. So definitely check out the Frog right in the middle of University Main Gate Square. Vibe Energy Bars, all natural and sweetened with agave. The better alternative and safe alternative to energy products. Go to vibefusion.com. Bianchi's, 2 locations, Speedway and Silverbell over by the West Campus, and the Northside location where we do our shows for our Oro Valley and Marana schools, and even San Manuel comes down, is at Tangerine and Thornydale, just east of the intersection. So for quality Italian food, and they've been in business since 1975, check out Bianchi's. And we'll get into the rest of the sponsors a little later. Coaches, thank you so much for being with us today. If you want to introduce yourselves, tell us how long you've been with the school, and maybe tell us something a little bit about yourself.
You want to go?
Sure, I'll go first. My name is Davis Byrne. I'm a native of Springfield, Oregon. I moved to Tucson in 2010. I am an alumni of the Gregory School. I was not fortunate enough to win a state championship when I was in high school, so it was really a privilege to be able to come back and help out the program that I contributed to in my time, and now to come and give back in another way. I'm a senior at the University of Arizona, planning on graduating this May, so hopefully, fingers crossed, come through strong on that. And I think this was my first time ever coaching in a serious manner, so I really enjoyed it, and I really appreciate Coach Everson for giving me the opportunity, and I think we made the most of it this year.
That's an understatement.
I'm Craig Everson. I'm the head coach. Grady Borgendon is also an assistant of ours. He's not able to make it tonight. He big contribution in his first season with us as well. So both Grady and Davis, really helped us out a lot. Not only coaching and helping the kids, but they bring a younger, as you can tell, they bring a younger interaction with the kids, which is really nice for the kids to be able to talk to them and not have to talk to the grouchy old guy all the time. But my name's Craig Everson. I've been the head coach at Gregory School now for 2 years. And I came from Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So my wife and I became snowbirds after our third child graduated from high school. And so we decided to take a journey, and it's kind of a second career for me. So I've always been in business my whole life and done coaching on the side, whether it's travel ball or whatever. But and I spent 3 years in a high school program before this, but this was really my first high school program that I took over.
Okay.
Davis, I was a little concerned when you first came up here and I saw Arizona State. What the hell's going on here? But then I read it all. I said, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
So, but, I understand what Coach says when you got a younger person that they feel that they could tell secrets to, because the older people don't know anything.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
it's kind of a good situation because they feel like they can tell you something and you won't tell him, but you tell him because there's a reason why he's missing all them shots. You know, his girlfriend left him and he's depressed.
Yeah.
And he could tell you and he couldn't tell him. So it's a good mix of things that you guys have going, and that's fantastic. And for your first year coming out to be a champion, you can't beat it, and you feel like you're a successful coach and you're ready to go straight to the NBA coaching staff. I understand. So
yeah, well,
congratulations.
There's all sorts of openings that are going to happen in the NBA and college. I sent my resume in this year. But off what you're saying, I was once in their shoes.
Right.
So I tried to think about what would I have wanted when I was in their position, you know?
Exactly.
And maybe they came off or out of the game or in practice and they were heated about something, whether or not it was about coach, and I would try and go up and talk to them and figure out what I could do to help. And then whether or not I was like, hey, like, don't tell coaches, they wouldn't always say that, but I could then translate what they were telling me in young people talk, for lack of a better word, and then I could go over and tap coach on the shoulder and say, hey, so-and-so said this to me, and just try and do everything I can to make us the best team we could be.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying. I've coached young people, and I tell them, believe it or not, I was once 12, 13, 14. I wasn't born and then went to 35 like you think. I actually went in chronological order, so I understand how painful it is when your girlfriend leaves you and she's the only one that you could ever love for the rest of your life, and how that can throw your shot off or make things happen. So I understand what you're saying, and Coach, I know you feel fortunate having a young guy like this, and both ways. You got that mentorship that you can hand him down stuff so he can take over a program one day, and that's got to be a good feeling for you that when somebody respects what you're doing.
That's right. And what I'm really proud of with both Grady and Davis this year was they were new and it was their first year, but I saw them grow over the course of the year. I gave them scouting assignments, gave them a template of some things I had done in the past, but really asked them to go take full ownership of it. And then there were times where, I could hear them talking to our kids and saying a lot of the things that I've been saying for 2 years here, and it's really nice to see them grow.
Well, what happens is, because you're so old, you're crazy.
That's right.
And he says the exact same thing. That's a brilliant idea.
Isn't it funny how that works?
Yeah, it's like listening to your dad. Your dad never knew anything, but the neighbor tell you something, it's just gold, and it's just like, I can't believe that. So it was a good move, and as you see, you guys are state champs, and congratulations on that, and we're looking for huge things in the future. How is next year looking?
We've got a little work to do for next year, but of course I said that last year, and so we lose 55 points of scoring. We've got a senior class that, when they graduate, you always feel like your seniors are irreplaceable. I felt the same way last year when I lost 3 guys that averaged 42 points a game. So right now I'm looking at it saying, I don't know how we're going to do it. Those 4 seniors are really special. You get to talk to them in a second. You'll see why. Great kids, great student athletes, great basketball players, and they really carried us. It was really them who, at the end of the year, they had the refuse to lose senior mentality that you need. That's the only way you're going to ever win your last game, is if those seniors say, there's no way we're losing.
Exactly.
So, and they did that, and those 4 did it, and so it'll be tough to replace, but we've got a few kids coming up who are working and getting better. We've got our junior class is a nice group, so we'll go at it.
Survive.
Yeah, we'll go at it and do our best.
Well, it's called trickle-down effect for a reason. Everything trickles down from the head coach down. It doesn't trickle up from a freshman to the head coach. So you guys have a lot to do with that. It's very important that you always give credit where credit's due. And like I said, last year you didn't think you were going to make it happen. This year you're state champs. You got a good staff with you. It's good young people coming back. And once you get a taste of a championship, it stays in your mouth for a long time. It's not like the juniors are going to forget, or the sophomores, whichever levels that you had. But it's really nice to sit down and talk to somebody that is a champion. Because I went through high school like you. I only lost 3 times, but they were always in the playoffs,
football-wise,
which was very painful. But we ended up putting a lot of people into D1s, so it kind of balanced out. But you still want the taste of a championship that you guys have and your team has, so, there's nothing to be sad about.
Right now it's nice, but one of the first things, I wasn't on last year's staff when we won the state championship last year, but very early on, I didn't notice a trend of lethargy or anything like that, but I said to the team, I don't want us to get complacent or associate anything with last year's team because every team that we're going to play already has us circled on their schedule, so they're going to give us everything they got. They're already looking at us as that big game of the year where, hey, maybe we're not going to win the state championship, maybe we're not going to make a deep playoff run, but if we can beat those guys, then that'll be a meaningful win for our season. So we had to be way more prepared than we were last year, because last year it wasn't expected, but then this year we had the pressure of being the defending champs and knowing that everyone was looking out for us as well.
And a lot of people don't understand, we will, 30 and 40 years old, these are great stories to tell. We won one game and again it was the state championship people. Those type of stories. We were 1-15, but that one game we won was the state champ people. And then at 50, it was everybody was shot.
Yeah.
And we just happened to pull it out with only 3 people and a manager.
And we were all bleeding.
And we won the game against the former state champion. So it's a fabulous thing, and you'll see when you get about 40 how beautiful this year really was.
Talk about that championship game against Ray, correct?
Sure.
They're a good squad. Just kind of take us through the game beforehand. How did you get them prepared? I think it was a little easier having been champs the year before. The butterflies are probably not as bad because of the fact they'd been there before. But just kind of take us through that game.
Well, and I don't know how aware you are of the weather situation up in Prescott Valley, but they got a 25-inch snowstorm the week we were up there. And so usually we would spend 3 days up there, and we spent 5. And the games were postponed on Friday, so the semifinal never happened. And we had to play both the semifinal and the championship game on the same day. And in fact,
the joys of youth.
Unreal, yeah. Well, and yeah, so you just do what you have to do. But we played, and we played the semifinal game at 1, and then we had to turn around with a 1-game wait and play the championship at 5.
Wow.
The semifinal game was a hard-fought game. We took a 13-point lead, but threw some free throws, and they hit some big threes and actually cut it to 3 and had a chance to tie it at the end. So it was a tight game, but we played really well. We played a great semifinal game.
Who was that against?
That was against Fort Thomas.
Okay.
So it's similar to the Duke game then.
Yeah, except they never quite had a chance to go ahead.
Yeah.
So
UCF gave that game away, and we were winning basically the entire game.
Yeah, we led coast to coast. They did have a chance at the end to tie, but we played well. And then in the championship game, it was, one thing I worried about is would we have the energy to come out and play a second game in a day. We have a thin roster. Being a 1A team, you don't go 9 and 10 deep.
Right.
You go 6 or 7 deep usually. And so did we have enough gas to go? Of course, they were in the same situation with one longer game wait. And we started out pretty sluggish, actually. We were down 9-8, and I think we went on a 18 or 20 to nothing run. We had to get the press going, and so we ended up knocking them out late in the first quarter.
That was a huge deficit, 9-8. How did you guys come back from all that pressure?
Well, Coach wasn't very happy at the time.
No, when it was actually a freshman, Oscar Ramirez, who's not here tonight, but he was one of the big spark plugs that came in. He's a big guy, 6'4", probably at least 200 pounds, and he was just causing all sorts of defensive havoc, which is something we really wanted him to work on throughout the year. So it was really impressive to see where he was at all the way back in fall league compared to what he was doing in that title game, and so it really meant a lot. And going in, we were a little. At least I was personally worried about us having a little bit of an emotional letdown because of how tense the game before was. And so Coach is right. We got off to a little bit of a sluggish start, but then we changed up the press a little bit, and then after that, we just never looked back. And we had a pretty comfortable lead going into halftime, and then we managed to keep that going all the way through the second half.
You know, coming from a small school, and I know that, you know, you only go 6, 7, maybe a luxury is 8 deep, and you guys press. That's what amazes me. And most small schools press. They don't have the roster of a 5A, a 6A, even a 4A, 3A, where they got 12 guys on the team, and you press. I cover women's basketball at the university, and one of the questions was to Coach Barnes is, why don't you guys press more? And she says, I'm only 7 deep. So to play 7 deep in high school and press, you must make them just run until they drop to keep them in shape.
Yeah, mostly we'll press throughout the year, but the playoffs become even tougher because, one, all the teams you're playing are good enough to beat a press.
Right.
And two, you're on a college-sized court, so the court's much bigger. It's longer. There's not as much. There's a lot more open space where trapping and things don't work. So we rarely press in the playoffs. But I just felt like we needed something to change it up at the time, and
the elevation.
Yeah, elevation's a killer. I mean, I had to play East Fork. Did you guys place them? They're up in the White Mountains. It's 8,000 feet, and our coach made us. And that was in football. We had to go up to Mount Lemmon and run sprints and stuff. So elevation is definitely something that is a factor.
That's true. I only played in high school. I only played elevation one time with my high school all-star game. We would go up to Flagstaff and play. And just driving up there, I wasn't even running. I was like, I can't breathe. You know, it's physical and psychological, because you know when you can't breathe, you die. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd let you in on that. It's one of those.
We're an educational show here too.
It's just one of them things that people don't understand that can really mentally bog you down. But you guys pulled it out, and to play 2 games in one day is also phenomenal. And it just goes to show that you're teaching them that sports is not just physical, it's mental. So good job again.
So we've got a question from Jeff. Craig, where'd you learn how to work the officials?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me see. My wife just gave me a dirty stare.
Is that where you got it from?
Yes.
The evil eye? All right.
So I certainly... It's taken a lot of years, and I can tell you I wasn't very good at it for a long time, especially when the kids were young and I was coaching as a younger guy. I got my fair share of technicals, but you grow a little older and you try to realize, I guess one thing I always try to do now is always learn each of their first names. And if
the officials.
Yes, and if I have a question, I always start out with their first name. And it seems to... Usually, it helps in stabilizing a relationship rather than having there be animosity right from the beginning.
Well, I think it is, and also to know that Mother Hubbard means the same thing, but you didn't say it.
Yeah.
So you can't accuse me of it. You know, Mother Hubbard.
Yes.
You know, so I understand.
Yeah. So I think the answer to the question is I learned the hard way.
And that's usually how you do learn lessons is the hard way and having been teed up or even kicked out of the game or something like that.
And then when you see another coach get a tee, and then you're like, ooh, I hope I didn't look like that when I was yelling. And so then you kind of make a mental note and say, I want to be better next time.
You know, and I think it's a difference of eras. Check me if I'm wrong, David, but you look at the John Woodens, the Lute Olsons, they could just stare at you as an official and make you shake in your shoes. Now you've got guys that just go crazy, the Bobby Hurley, sometimes even the Sean Millers, that type of thing. I don't know if it's a different era type thing, but, you know, the Woodens and the Olsons, they just, you know, they had a different way about their demeanor where they could work the rest by just staring at them.
Well, one of the things is they were trying to let their players know, regardless of the situation, you never use profanity. Now, Bobby Knight had a different technique.
That's right.
And he was successful with it. But, you know, the thing about it is that I think everything is softened up nowadays, and, you know, everybody's a little bit more sensitive, so you don't have to go that deep into the profanity to really hurt somebody's feeling, because gosh darn it will do it. So I think that's one of the things that's changing now too. Everybody's just a little softer than they used to be.
Yeah.
So going back to what you said, last year's senior class, you lost 44 points a game, but you gained 55 this year. So you're going to lose another 4 seniors this year. You've got a good group of juniors coming here. They're already here. And they've won 2 as sophomores and juniors, so they should be, basically it should be just business as usual next year, except for just, maybe putting a few new wrinkles in and then just mentoring the younger kids that are coming up.
We hope so. I mean, that's the
in a perfect world.
That's the way we draw it up. I mean, one of the main reasons I came to Gregory School was we have a 5th through 12th grade program. So I just got done, working out my 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
Right.
And I've gotten to spend 2 years with them as well, and to see them in the gym, as I do, and how they've improved, and to see our freshmen, sophomores, and juniors and see how much they've improved in the last 2 years, that's what's really special about all this, is we're building it from 5th grade through 12th grade, and you can see the improvement, and that's what's fun.
The one consistent thing is the coaching. So you gotta just tip your hat just a little bit, not a whole bunch, because I see you fighting the humbleism, which there's nothing wrong with that, but you know the saying, it's hard to be humble when you're as great as I am. So I do understand that. So I just want to congratulate you, because you keep, reloading. You're not rebuilding. And that just comes down to coaching. And now you got
That's a sign
nice
of a good
young
program.
buck to help you. So I'm expecting bigger and better things in the future. 3-peat, right?
Sounds good.
Yeah, no problems. But I can just add off, and because I was here before Coach was, and I saw what the program was, not only during my time there, but then in the couple of years in between my graduation and then when we hired Coach. And it's night and day. The fact that he's willing to come in and not only do the high school, but the JV team and the middle school team, and to commit full time like that, it's light years ahead of where we were when I was in school. So, and I've told this to Coach before, but as an alumni, I'm so proud to see where we've come and the work that Coach puts in, because he really is an embodiment of what you need to have to be a championship team. So, even if I wasn't here in this position, I could still see from the outside looking in the good job that Coach is doing. So,
that's unprecedented. I've never heard of somebody coaching, from the cradle to the grave.
Mm-hmm. That's the plan.
Yeah, you're good. Hey, go yourself. What do we got here?
Got another question from Jim. Coach, I heard Connor stayed cool by standing near the fans. Is that true?
Do you know what this one's about?
I don't know what that's about, no.
You have fans in your gym or something that you stand by?
I mean, do you know? I don't know.
I'm not sure I know.
Yeah, he knows.
No, I'm not sure I do. I mean, it could be Connor sweats an awful lot. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, as soon as he steps into the gym, he's got about 6 pounds of sweat on the floor. That's just, part of who he is, but also the hard work he puts in.
Sure. All right, Coach, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Congratulations. Congratulations, Coach. We'll get the seniors up here now, all right?
They're awesome guys.
All right, thank you so much. Once again, the Gregory School 1A state champions. Getting back into our sponsors, Johnny Gibson's Downtown Market. David and Troy will have that show this Thursday with the Western Little League baseball and softball teams. It should be a great show. It's our show Under the Stars at Johnny Gibson's Downtown Market at 6th and Broadway, and in conjunction with High Wire Lounge. Go to Johnny's. They have great burgers, great sandwiches. They've got ready-to-eat food. Being a grocery store, there's got dozens and dozens of things to drink. If you want adult beverages, High Wire Lounge will take care of that for you. And it's just a great scene to sit out in the patio. The weather's beautiful now, so come on out to Johnny Gibson's Downtown Market. Meech's Mexican Food at 39th Street and 4th Avenue. The best Mexican food in town. Not just in South Tucson, but in town. So definitely check it out. It's worth the trip to go down to Meech's. And we have our Southside shows there. We just got done having Nogales baseball, and they're back-to-back state champions as well. So we like to have state champs on our show. and we're glad to have you guys on it. Catalina Auto Recycling, why buy new when used will do? So for all your automotive needs, go to CatalinaAutoRecycling.com. Arizona Lending Specialist, contact Mo the Mortgage Lady. You can reach her at 520-510-6698 for the lowest mortgage rates in Tucson. What's up, fellas? All right, glad to have you guys on the show today. So it's our honor. Just to start out, we'll start with you. Just give us your name, what year you are in school, and what you do for the team.
My name's Connor Harris. I'm a senior in high school, and I don't play a lot. I'm mainly the bench guy, but I'm the loudest guy on the bench.
There you go.
I'm the energy of the team, I feel like.
Okay.
I'm Samari Harris, senior at the Gregory School, and I was a point guard this year, and I was the leader of our team. I'm DeMar Harris, and I'm also a senior, and this year I played point guard and shooting guard. When Tamara wasn't a point guard, I was shooting guard, vice versa.
So do you guys interchange?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Anderson Mort, senior at the Gregory School, and I'm like the all-around guy doing the dirty work.
All-around guy. All right, so I got a twin question.
Sorry.
You guys be running little trick games on the little girls? You can tell me.
It was kind of in the old days
You
a
guys
little
look,
bit.
I mean, to a T.
Really? You think so?
There's no damn. Got the same
Same
hairstyle
hair,
that
pretty
needs to be cut, and I mean, I would love to have had a twin when I was in school.
It's pretty cool. I like
that
it.
would have been like the coolest. But now, my man here, I've seen you play. I like the energy that you bring to the team and to the game, and I'm very impressed with the fact that you can be as upbeat as you are and not play as much as you would like. That is fantastic, and I've always wanted to tell you that because you always got me excited of the games that we went to see, and I just think that you're a fabulous addition to the team, and I do believe without you on the team, they wouldn't have been as successful without you on the team.
Great.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
It's the
I
truth,
really
too.
appreciate it.
We got to see you at, the MLK, right?
Yeah, keep people hyped up, and that means a lot when you're down and even when you're up. Because sometimes when you're up, you think, okay, there's nothing that can happen, and that's when the other team comes back. But he's not going to let that happen. He's going to stay on top of it.
Yeah, he's a ball of energy. It's great.
Very much so. Very much so. And I was very impressed. Very impressed.
Thank you so much.
So back-to-back state champions. Not a lot of people can say that. That's incredible. Like I said, we had Nogales baseball on, and they did the same thing. So you being seniors, you left a pretty good you set the bar pretty high for the juniors that are going to be seniors next year, and basically the guys are going to be coming probably the next few years. That state championship doesn't just go away. When you've done it twice, that's even better. So we'll start. You guys are all seniors, so we'll start with you. Just tell us what the best lasting memory that you had, not only of going to the Gregory School, but also from the basketball team will be, since this is your last year.
That's a tough one. Wow. Probably. We, in the semifinal last year, were able to beat the team that beat us in the state championship the year before. And so looking back on it, that's probably one of the things I'm most proud of. The best moment was probably the moment after we won and you get to go celebrate with your team. That's really the best moments that I've had.
I would agree. The best moment was once we actually won the second time. The first year was good, but we had like a chip on our shoulders this year because the first year we had Anderson's brother, Addison Moore, and he kind of led the team. And so most people said we couldn't do it the next year, so we really had that chip on our shoulder that we had to go get it again. So for us to just do it two times in a row, it made me proud.
Cool.
I would say for me the best moment would probably be the semifinals game against Fort Thomas. Last year we played them, and it was in the championship, and they had a chip. They were looking at that, and we played great. It was a close game, great environment, and just getting the dub after that game, it felt really good.
Obviously both state championships were clearly my favorite parts, but especially the bonding. Well, we made a good bond in the hotel when we got snowed in, and we just got to stay together for like 2 whole days just hanging out, and that was good.
That's a pretty good story you can tell when you get to be our age. It's like we got snowed in, played 2 games in one day, and ended up being back-to-back state champions. You don't hear that type of story from kids that play in Tucson for the most part.
I think one of the interesting things for me, I was born and raised here in Tucson. I played at Sunnyside High School, the best high school in the history of the world. And a lot of people don't understand that, but I thought I'd let you guys know. But the interesting thing is all the great football teams that I played on, and I was able to go to the U of A and play professionally as well, we never won a state championship. And to this day, that bothers me. And to be able to win it twice, well, you guys are awful special. I mean, it's just amazing. Because I tell you what, of all the great things that I've done individually and team-wise, you still, and that's the first thing that everybody asks you, oh, did you guys win state? You know, so you guys get to say not only yes, but twice. Beautiful.
Sorry.
That's amazing.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
So talk about Fort Thomas. I played Fort Thomas when I was, and when I played them, those kids could just run and run and run because they're up in the altitude, so they would just want to run you out of the gym. They don't have a lot of height because, I don't know, maybe there's something in the water there. They don't grow very tall, but they would like chicken guard you. They would just send a guard, as soon as the ball would go up, they'd send a guard down court and, hopefully get the rebound and just toss it full court down to them. What has changed? How do they play now? Are they still a pressing team? They're just all over the floor ball hawking you?
Yes, they run, they press, and they love to shoot the three. You have to stand up or they'll hit them in your face. And the craziest thing about playing Fort Thomas, it doesn't matter where the game is. Their fans are crazy.
Yes, they are.
And so it really makes the game a lot more fun, especially when you win, because you get to go against those crazy fans as much as that team and still try to win a basketball game. It's really amazing.
And it doesn't really matter basketball or football. Like David played at Sunnyside. They were 3A. Back in the day, that was the highest. They played teams around Tucson. When you go to a small school, you're going to other cities, other towns. I had the opportunity. I was honored to have the opportunity to talk to the Sabino team before they had their second-round playoff game in football against Safford. And I told them, I said, you go to these small towns, and it's not just a school thing. It's a whole town thing because there's only one high school in the whole town. So the whole town shows up. It's very intimidating, especially being a high school kid. They're not playing just for their school. They're not playing for just their town. They're playing for anybody that ever went to that school since the school was built. And it's a different atmosphere when you go into these small towns and there's nothing to do. It's not like, oh, I'm not going to go to the basketball game. I got to go to the movies. There is no movies. So they show up, and that's the town thing to go is high school sports. And it's a totally different atmosphere that kids that went to big schools may or may not have experienced that before.
Well, I think one of the other things is that when you beat somebody that have rowdy fans, it's just that much sweeter.
It is.
Because to watch them go, you son of a...
Yes,
and
sir.
you're like, look at the scoreboard. It's a beautiful thing. Because basketball, if you look in the rules, talking trash is in the rules. It is mandatory. If you don't talk trash, you don't even go on the court. Because when I busted in your eye, I got to let you know.
I got to let you know.
I got to. That's just part of it. It's in the rules. See, football, there's so many other tangibles going on. You don't really get to talk a lot of stuff because, hey,
You go back to the huddle.
you win with 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown. So that's the real celebration. I like basketball. Basketball is just beautiful. It's the best sport to me. And I play football. But I love basketball. If I have a choice of watching a basketball game or a football game, and they're even, say Super Bowl or NBA Finals, Super Bowl doesn't stand a chance. I love basketball.
With you saying that, like our team, we had a kind of a problem. We all have like big mouths, so we try to make sure. We try to make sure though we talked with our game because we were really good at the end of the year with controlling ourselves. But yeah, we were able to back it up, so it's fine once we talk.
Get out my face and you miss.
We were able to back it up, so it was cool.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's the sweetest thing about it. Because you can even do it on a one-on-one level, and only you and that person know. Yeah, take that, you son of a shit. Yeah, how'd that taste?
Yeah.
And only you two know. Next thing you know, he pissed off. He fouling you because
He got in his head.
Yeah.
you didn't tell him to not block your shot. You said, hey, if you can, do it. I like you guys' game. Everybody's
Thank you.
game was really exciting, and every time we saw you guys, it was really neat.
Thank
You
you.
guys, one of the things that I got to hand you guys are very well coached.
Yes, very well.
Yeah, that's huge because we've watched schools with great athletes, great athleticism, but they couldn't win no games because coach would just roll the ball out and say, go jump out the gym. And you guys had good coaching. You got an inspiration right here, so I'm not surprised that you guys won the championship.
Thank you.
So tell me, everybody, you had, like the coaches said, everybody circled the Gregory school on their schedule because they wanted to beat you. Once you win the state championship, you've got that bullseye automatically. You win it again, and for the juniors that are going to be seniors next year, it's going to be that much harder. But what is the game that you had circled on your calendar, on your schedule? Who's your rival? Who's the team that you want to beat the most?
I would say it would probably be Fort Thomas, because we knew we beat them last year, and they really wanted to get us this year. So that was my game that I had circled on the schedule.
I would
wanted to
say, like in our division, Fort Thomas, but we also played up a lot this year, and so like when we played Morenci and we played Pima, and we actually got to go into those small towns, or when we got to play Buena and McHale, those were also 3 games that like to prove to people that we were good, not just for our division, but like outside of our division too. Those were also some games that were circled. But yeah, in our division, Fort Thomas for sure.
Now, did you guys have an opportunity to play Globe?
No.
At all? We had the Salmon Well kids on the basketball team, and that they were a good team, and they lost like 101 to 98. No, that was St. Augustine. Lost 101 to 98 to Globe, and lost twice. They lost at their place and up at Globe, and Globe just seemed to have that one kid. I never got to see him play personally, but they were saying he could pop threes from the top of the key all the way to half court. I mean,
Yeah, he's nice. He's
so
nice.
I didn't know if you guys had an opportunity to play him at all.
No, we watched them play. We watched them play. They're a very solid team. They're good, but I would like to play them. That'd be a cool game.
There's one thing that I do different than a lot of people when it comes to championship. Championship is the championship. I don't say, oh, you guys are the 1A champion. No, you're the champs, period. So that's what it's about to me. You can only play the people that they put in front of you.
That's right.
Has nothing to do with how many people go to your school. If you put this person out there, I beat this person. Everybody you put in front of me, we beat.
Sorry.
When it came down to it.
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of people try to say, well, that's only 2A, 3A, whatever it is. No. Attendance has nothing to do with our game. And you're the champs, right?
Yes, sir.
Y'all need to scratch that 1A out. You're the champs on there because you guys just beat everybody that you were supposed to beat.
Yes, sir.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point because like David said, you can't control what you can't control. Your school has 300 kids at it. You can't control it when you're playing a Cienega that has 2,000 kids or a Buena or something like that. That was one of the reasons I went from Catalina to Palo Verde Christian. I went from 3A down to small school, and I would have never won a state championship at Catalina. They were a baseball school when I was going there and stuff. So David's exactly right. 6A, 1A, whatever, you're champs. Nobody can ever take that away from you.
Can't control when you were born either.
Exactly.
Now, I'm going to tell you that we would have beat the snot out you guys.
I don't know about all that.
Ask your dad.
Debatable.
Your dad knows. Your dad will tell you. Yeah,
He said they could beat us.
he'll tell you.
He said their whole team could beat us.
He'll tell you.
Sunnyside.
No. He know.
I don't think so.
Hey, stop.
Getting a little banter going here.
He know the truth. He gonna admit it on the ride home. No, I'm just playing. But you're gonna be doing the same thing when you get to be 50 like me. Oh, this ain't basketball. That's what you're gonna be saying. But I tell you what, you're gonna say this ain't real basketball. You show them that damn trophy.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
So let's get into a little bit of academics and stuff. You guys being seniors, you go to a private school. I know that you guys are all A students, so we won't even go to down that road. But what I want to know is one, what are you going to study in college? What is your course of study for your undergrad? And 2, do you want to continue playing basketball at the next level, whether you go to a JC all the way up to a D1?
So I'm not sure what I want to study. I definitely want to get into coaching later.
Okay, good.
I've thought about teaching. I'm not sure. I really like history and math. I don't know yet. So I'll figure that out. But as far as the next level, I'm not going to probably intramural. I don't think anything I'm not a college prospect, but probably intramural. So that's my hope.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I plan to study anything in the sports field, like sports medicine
Okay.
or like training, like to be a trainer. And for college, I'm actually like in contact with a couple colleges in Texas and Colorado,
Nice.
and also like local, like Sohoto Odom. I have like some workouts coming up with them, so we'll see where that takes me.
Okay.
And then also for college, I'm talking to a couple colleges in Texas and Colorado and Soto.
Is it a deal, though? They got to take both of you?
If
we would
that's
love to be
possible,
nice.
we like that. And then also for college, I would like to go into something with probably like kinesiology or sports medicine, something around that route.
Yeah, kinesiology threw me for a loop, but sports medicine, I understand.
Yeah, in college, I'm looking to study sports management most likely, and as of right now, I'm not looking to play at the next level, but maybe some things will change.
Well, you got to
Any
remember,
change.
bruh, the one thing about that decision, you got to make it pretty soon because you don't want to be 30 wondering, could you have done it? So I'm just throwing out something to think about because I tell you what, there's nothing worse than something passing you by and you just never know. I mean, go out, get cut. Go out, make the team. Go out and find out so when you are older, you can say, you know what, I tried all that, it worked, it didn't work, whatever happened. Because I'm telling you, about 25, nobody wants you. So just give it some thought. And I like the fact that you guys have your head on your shoulders as far as academics is concerned. Sports medicine is a hell of a field, and it's always open. Because,
There's always people getting hurt.
well, not just that. The other thing is the medicine field is changing so much. You can't just ice everything now like back in my day. You know, you go blind, ice it.
Or rub some dirt on and get back in the
Rub
game.
some dirt on and get back in there. So it's good that you guys got those things squarely planted in your mind. Just don't sell yourself short because you never know. You never know, bro. So,
All right, couple
Keep it
more
going.
questions. What you got the school? You know, you got good guidance, like David said. You guys all know what you want to do. Okay. A lot of the athletic colleges now. I was talking to you guys about about 28 of the 31 first-round draft picks in the NFL were you know played more than one sport. I know that's a big advantage. It's kind of an advantage for you. It's a disadvantage, maybe in some respects, because of the fact you don't have the enrollment. So you go from football to basketball or volleyball. You play baseball or run track in the spring. Tell us the other sports, if any, that you participate at the Gregory School, and how maybe that other sport helps you with basketball, or how basketball helps you with that other sport.
So middle school I did some stuff. I did flag football and I did soccer for a year. But I'm not a natural athlete, so once I got to high school, I decided that if I was going to be a good player and really contribute to a team, I needed to dedicate myself to basketball, so that's what I've done for 4 years.
well, I just want you to know you don't have to be a natural athlete to excel in sports.
You got that. Nobody can take that away
Because
from
you know, I don't know, you might have never heard of him, a guy named Larry Bird. He wasn't all that gifted, but he worked and worked and worked and worked. He ended up being one of the greatest players of all time. Yep. So I'm throwing stuff out to you guys to let you know, sports is played here. Whatever you really put your mind to doing, you can accomplish. And it may be something totally different than you ever expected. The athletic path may lead you into the greatest coaching job of all time because you came through that athletic door and all of a sudden somebody picked you up on their staff and made things happen for you. So remember, what you say to yourself is what you're going to be. Now, the only thing you can't do, you can't say, I want to be 6'10" tomorrow, and that shit works. That won't work. But you understand that the work ethic and the grind can take you where you want to go.
Growing up, I played a lot of sports. I was like a 3-sport athlete. I ran track, I played football and basketball, and then like when I was little, I played baseball. But as I grew up, I started to just focus on like football and basketball. And then when I got to high school, I stopped playing football. But I plan to play football again until I transferred to the Gregory School, which there's no football program. So then I just became like primarily a basketball player. But I still like try to do like workouts that gets my feet, like working on my footwork and everything. So.
Yeah, football's it's not for everybody.
Yeah, no. I was pretty good. I was a small guy, but I was pretty fast. So
well,
yeah.
I used to be 6'5", then I got in an accident. Now I'm 5'6", so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, growing up, I played the same sports as my brother, pretty much football, basketball, track. And actually, I forgot, when we were little, we did gymnastics. Oh, yeah. And I think that honestly helped us with coordination, everything.
Bruh,
so,
I used to do gymnastics.
Yeah.
My motivation was a little different. When I got to the U of A, I used to work out with a gymnastics team, and they only had girls gymnastics.
Oh yeah.
So I was thinking on a double level, but it did help me. So who's the fastest between you two?
Me, for sure.
No,
For sure, me.
no.
Can any of you guys beat your dad?
In a race?
Oh, now.
Yeah.
I think so now.
I mean, if you gave him a little time to get ready, not just go outside right now, but if you give him about 2 months of training, you think you can take him?
I got him now. Yeah, he had me a couple years ago, but I have him now.
I don't know if I can believe that one, man.
That's right. Good stuff.
I
Okay.
got you, man. They're trying to say that they can take you.
100 yards, you'll be halfway.
Dad's saying no way over in the crowd. All right.
I'm with you.
All right.
How about you?
Be careful.
Hey, I try to tell him.
Growing up, I played both football and basketball. But when I got to high school, I just stuck to basketball. But my first 3 years, I was a cross-country runner, focused on the long distance, like to get in shape for basketball.
You from Zimbabwe? Very few dark people run.
Yeah, that was
I
more of my
run to the
parents.
car, but I'm not at 26 miles and all that. No, bruh. That's not for me. I don't even drive 26 miles sometimes.
David wants to see the finish line from where he's standing.
Exactly.
Yeah, my parents got me into that just to get in shape for basketball. But
That'll definitely get you in
this
shape.
year, I recently started volleyball.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you any good?
D1 prodigy.
Yeah, I got a lot of potential, let's just say.
Okay, D1.
You can jump.
He has potential.
Okay.
A lot of potential.
We might have to come to the campus and
I covered for you, bro.
do a volleyball game with you guys. All right, so funny question time. And I didn't give you a clue on the pregame instructions because I wanted you guys to have spontaneous answers. So let me ask you this. Who, of anybody, dead or alive, and it doesn't have to be a relative, you could say, I want to have lunch with Abraham Lincoln. Dead or alive, who would you like to have lunch with?
I got mine, LeBron James.
LeBron James? Good. That's a good choice.
Yeah, just the type of guy he is, the stuff he does for the community, the
On
stuff
and
he
off
does
the
for the
court.
game of basketball.
That's a good choice.
He walks the walk, even both professionally and in life.
Oh, I have two answers. Like, if it could be any sports player, it would definitely be LeBron.
Well, it could be anybody,
Yeah,
sports
but
or
if
not.
it's a date, I'll have to choose Julia Kelly. She's a model.
She's at my house.
Okay, since we're talking about models, her name's Jilly. I don't know her last name, but I think it's DeJounte Murray's ex now. So if you see this, I'm single. No, I'm gonna shout myself out.
She's at my house too.
Yeah, I'll pull up later.
Y'all need
Then.
to come on.
Wow, this is that's a tough one, but probably Mike Krzyzewski.
No, not bad. Not a bad
Shit,
choice.
that's a great choice.
One of the best coaches
all
ever.
of the choices were fantastic.
Yeah.
First of all, because you can learn something from everybody that you chose, and Even the model, she could teach you how to walk down the catwalk or something. I don't know what you guys were going for in there, but we'll keep that for a later date.
That's
But
right.
LeBron James is a good choice because on and off the court, he takes care of business, and he's not all about himself. That's huge.
Exactly. All right, so here's a real funny question. Tell me your 2 favorite fast food places, and you got to get rid of one for the rest of your life.
2 favorite fast food places. Probably In-N-Out and Wendy's, and I'd get rid of Wendy's.
Good choice. Good choice. All right, boss.
I would say Taco Bell and McDonald's. I don't. Yeah, Taco Bell and McDonald's. But I would have to get rid of Taco or McDonald's.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's because
Stuff with cat meat?
Nah, it's because they have what's it called?
Cat
A quesadilla crunch burrito. It's nice. It's a fan favorite.
That's
for
not
me.
even Mexican food.
It's not
That's-
real Mexican food, but it's
that's Mex
authentic.
food.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Mexican, it's Mex food.
But I'm not a huge fast food eater anyway, so like for me it wouldn't be too big. You know?
All right.
Yeah.
I would say for my top, it would probably be Sonic and
Oh yeah, Sonic actually.
Sonic's good.
Sonic and I just had it. Sorry, and Chick-fil-A.
And who are you going to get rid of?
If I had to get rid of one, honestly, probably Chick-fil-A. I might have to do it. The chili cheese conies from Sonic.
I gotta get
Delicious.
rid of both of you.
Yeah,
guys.
no, see, I was wrong. I wasn't thinking like big like that. I was thinking little fast food. Yeah.
How about you?
I mean, I'm an expert. I have fast food all the time, so
There you go.
I'm thinking like Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A. And I gotta keep Taco Bell. That's ride or die right there.
I can't even think of a
I
Taco
have it
Bell
about twice
close
a
to
week.
campus. I mean, you guys are on North Craycroft. I was like,
That is like, on my worst day, if I had been starving for 30 days and they said, here's some Taco Bell, I would wait another day.
I have it about like twice a week at least.
You look kind of Taco Bellish.
all right, so time to shout out. Like I said, you guys got an opportunity to get a hold of your people, whether they're in town here or out of town or out of state. Here's your chance to shout out to the nation.
Oh, well, first I would just like to thank God, obviously, my Lord and
too,
Savior.
thank God.
I thank my parents for always riding with me. They're always there, whether it's like thick or thin. And then I'd like to thank my brother, Marcel. He's a huge support for me. He would come to all my games and everything. Then my best friends, Garrett, he came to all of our games that he could. He would miss work sometimes for us. He was really real.
That's big.
I would like to shout out also my parents. First of all, I would like to thank God, everything He did for our team, everything just for me. And I would like to thank my grandma. She's a great support to my basketball career. Anything that has
both of them.
both of them. Anything that has to do with sports and the financial, anything she'll usually take care of it because she's really invested into us and she comes to our games. Then I would also like to shout out my best friend Garrett too. He's always tried to make our games everything, and he's a ride or die. So
I'm going to ask this on behalf of David. Does Grandma know that you guys eat Taco Bell?
I don't know
Because every time we went there, we eat good.
good.
She said we eat Red Robin, Golden Corral, so she would kind of be mad about that, you know. Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, that's. I might have to take your player card. All three of you guys.
Hey, I didn't even have Taco Bell in mine, so I'm not that nasty.
Okay.
Yeah, he had Sonic.
But you can take their player cards.
All right.
I mean, I just like to thank my family and my parents especially for supporting me through my athletic career, and my team for bringing us to this place we are right now.
Nice.
All right, thank you guys. Congratulations.
Well, you said
Oh,
this
that's
out
right. That's right. You went first, and I skipped over you.
No problem.
First of all, my family. I've been very committed to basketball over the last 4 years, and like my mom and brother and grandmother have really allowed me to do that. To my grandfather, because he really taught me a lot of like the resolve that I have. And I shout out to my uncle and aunt who are hopefully, and cousins who are hopefully able to listen across.
Are they the Chicago people?
Yeah, they are.
They called me. I had to let them know how to get on the show, so
Well, thank
they're
you.
definitely watching.
And shout out to all the coaches this year and all my teammates, not just from this year, but like from the years past, because my sophomore year especially was really motivating for my junior and senior year, so that I wouldn't have to feel the state tournament loss feeling again. So I shout out a lot of those teammates and all my teammates this year. They were amazing.
Also to Coach Everson, he's my coach and best friend.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Everson. And then one more shout out to Mr. Harkins. It's one of the Matt Harkins' dad on the team. And he helped me get through the season. I had a lot of injuries, and he helped me with that a lot. So
You guys just pass right over me, It's too late.
Shout out to my biggest supporter too.
You guys did fantastic, man. I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you. Appreciate
and
it.
I've me and your dad go back a long way. Yeah. I mean, he's really 85 years old. You just don't know that. But thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
He looks fantastic.
Thank you, fellas. Congratulations on back-to-back state champions. Very, very happy for you guys.
Good job.
We're going to start. We're going to do a couple more sponsors, but I really want to take this opportunity on a couple things that happened this week. It actually happened yesterday that we want to make mention of. First of all, congratulations to Wildcat softball pitcher Alyssa Denham throwing her first no-hitter on her 21st birthday. I mean, how cool is that? That's something that you will never, ever, ever forget, Alyssa. As Cat fans and to watch our show and people that follow Arizona's softball, you're such an inspiration to the whole team. You're a great athlete. We're glad that you're finishing up your career at Arizona, and congratulations and happy birthday to that. On the other end, down the street at McHale Center last night, Sweet 16 bound Arizona women's basketball. They beat the University of Pacific in a pretty close game for 3 quarters, and then basically in the fourth quarter they stepped on their neck and they wouldn't let them up, and they won going away. Congratulations to Coach Adia Barnes, her staff, and all the Wildcat lady basketball players. The next game is going to be Thursday. We have a show on Thursday. Troy and David will be taking the show. I'll be at McHale Center for the other Idaho school. We played Idaho State, beat them, and now we have to play the University of Idaho Vandals on Thursday night at 6:30. So if you get a chance, please go out to McHale. If you are a student at the University of Arizona, I don't know what we have to do to get you guys in the stands. They gave you free tickets, they gave you free pizza, and 15 of you guys showed up. So I don't know what the deal is. Coach Barnes wants to know what the deal is. A.D. Hickey wants to know what the deal is. You need to have some school spirit and get yourself down to McHale Center and support this basketball team going into the Sweet 16. So getting back to our sponsors, Jim Miller State Farm, located at Wade and Silverbell up in Continental Ranch area of Marana, your one-stop shop for life, auto, home, and renter's insurance. Look for the red VW outside his office and go bug him for a quote. Tuller Trophy, 2 convenient locations to serve you, 6th Avenue and 6th Street, the original location, and the 5700 block of East 22nd Street, Tucson's original trophy and award center. Go to TullerTrophy.com. Chiba Hut. You guys had Chiba Hut? You definitely have to check this out. They have the best sandwiches in town. You'll never eat Subway. You'll never eat Jimmy John's. You won't eat Freaky Fast. Or it's right across the street from the Arizona Stadium. Actually, from the beach volleyball pits, 1840 East 6th Street. Everything or nothing is fried there except for the occasional customer. David and I like it because they've got retro drinks. They've got Kool-Aid. They got Tang. So it's a really good place. Check out Chiba Hut, 1840 East 6th Street. First Heritage Realty, the A to B team with Brittany Palma. Looking for a house, condo, townhouse, or just land? Call her at 520-270-7958. Move the healthy way. Oasis Air Conditioning and Heating. Make sure your units are in tip-top shape by calling David Murrieta, another Sunnyside Blue Devil, 520-648-1755. And New Stitch Embroidery at 3114 South 12th Avenue. For all your silk screening, embroidery, and fabric laser printing, call 520-741-1070. They do our shirts here at 520 Sports Talk, so you definitely want to give them a call. How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good. How are you?
All right, good. So there's one more group after you, correct?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and we'll start with you. Give us your name, what year you are in school, and what position you play.
All right. right. My name is Josiah Pryor. I'm a junior at the Gregory School. I play point guard through small forward, depending whatever coach needs me to do.
My name is Philip Dubose. I am currently also a junior at the Gregory School, and I play either point guard or shooting guard, same as him pretty much.
My name is Clark Maybe. I'm a junior at the Gregory School, and I play power forward or center.
Great, great. So now you guys are state champs. Did any of you guys play on the team last year?
I did.
You did? So 2-time state champs. So let me ask you this. Are you guys feeling a little bit of pressure to make it a three-peat, or what's going on?
Well, I mean, obviously the goal is to get back as soon as possible. We actually kind of felt the same feeling last year, that it was pretty difficult. We figured that maybe this year wouldn't have been the year. We were definitely came in doubting ourselves a lot, but we ended up proving ourselves and everybody else wrong. So, yes, I'd say that that same lack of confidence is present, but definitely can be eradicated over the course of the season. So.
Wow, eradicated. That's nice. Well, I think one of the main things in life is to have the confidence to be able to do something. So you need to get that confidence straightened out real quickly, because you can't do what you don't believe. So just food for thought. So this was your first championship. How did you feel about that? Good feeling, bad feeling?
For me, especially come from a school that didn't even compete for a state championship or didn't even make it into the bracket. Transferring to a different school and winning a championship is definitely a dream come true. It's just a really good feeling, knowing that you're on the same team as great players like Josiah and Phil here. But it's just a great feeling, and it's nice to know that I can share these memories with all these different guys.
And you're a champ, huh?
Yeah.
How about you, my man?
Well, for me, it was a little different. I actually went to University High School for my first 2 years. So Rincon, I know, Sunnyside rival, I'm sorry. So my first 2 years, I started on varsity my sophomore year, and it's not the same. It's not the same.
That's all you can say.
Yeah, definitely. We weren't very good as far as the team. Like, our record was like 10 and, I don't know, like 23 or something like that my sophomore year. And due to some life circumstances, I changed this year to the Gregory School my junior year. And so I had to sit out half the season, and that's tough. Like, having to sit out, it was tough. But then I got back, worked my way into the starting role, and then winning the state championship is it's amazing. Like you said, dream come true, man.
Well, I know it was tough sitting out games when you figured you could contribute, but it was better to sit out those games and be a champ than to be at that other school you named and be 10 and 23.
Yes.
Rincon has some issues from the top down why they can't win in anything. And I mean, I'm not talking trash about it. I'm just saying you got to have support from everybody from the principal down in order to compete for anything. And when you have separation from the principals, from the teachers, from the coaching staff, and the players, you're not going to win anything. And that's been the history of Rincon since I can remember. And I've been here since like 1850. And they've always been, I think in 74, I think they won a championship, but they've never done anything since.
Yeah.
On any sport at any level.
Yeah.
Sometimes they compete for something a little bit, then they're like, oh, we're Rincon, we're supposed to lose, and they do. So that was a great move.
Yeah, the coaching staff there was definitely great for me. Like, I love my coaches there, but it's just like you said, everybody's got to be on the same level, and, when they're not there as far as administration or others, it's just not – it's not like how it is here. I love it
It's
here.
not going to work. Well, I think your coaching staff is not just knowledgeable, but they care about you.
Exactly.
Outside of how many points did you score, how many rebounds did you get, how many assists they care about you. And when somebody cares about you when you're playing a sport, you really want to play.
Oh, of course.
Because you can't let them down. You don't want to let yourself down. You don't want to let your family down. And now you got that nice, beautiful pressure of trying to be a state champ again, and that's a beautiful thing.
Of course.
I would rather be trying to be a champion again than trying to be a champion once. So I think you guys can make it.
Thank you.
Let me ask you two, since you came from other schools, and what school did you come from?
I came from a boarding school in Connecticut.
Oh, okay, so out of state. Okay. So let me ask you this.
Boarding school? Yeah. Okay.
What is the it's kind of a two-part question, and I think you might have answered the first part with David. What's the big difference between the boarding school and Rincon University athletically and in the classroom?
Well, first off, academically in the classroom, it's way more challenging.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you have teachers constantly on you, no matter what you do, and since you live at school, you can't really escape anything. So.
That would be a drag.
Yeah. But it's hard, and athletically, I really could only play JV because you had kids coming in through scholarships and all this
political scenario.
Yeah,
you
prep
could be the
school
best player, but because this and that happened, we're gonna get you as much playing time as we can.
Yeah, basically.
And you?
For me, academically, truthfully, it's a lot easier. UHS was like a huge challenge for me, and comparatively, I love it at the Gregory School because it's more one-on-one focused. Like the class average, I think, is like 9 students, and at university, it's like 30. And so, in some classes I had like a block class, so it's like almost 60, and so it's like I'd rather have one teacher with 9 kids than one teacher with 60. So
now it's a college prep school, though, Gregory. Okay.
Both of them are. So, as far as like the work, it's about the same, but like I said, just being more individually focused, I can ask better questions, and I feel like I get more information, I retain it better. And then athletically, I kind of already answered that. Like,
I think the other thing when you're in a smaller class, you're not intimidated by a question.
Exactly.
Sometimes you'll be like, man, I don't want to ask this question because 25 other people will think I'm silly.
Truthfully, yes.
Instead of 9 people saying, you know what, there really is no dumb question. The only dumb question is questions that you didn't ask.
Don't ask.
And the students are actually more, like, I feel, accepting here because because of that.
Yeah.
So.
And it helps being a champ at a small school because everybody knows who you are.
Big man on campus.
Yes.
So let me ask you guys, with the other group, they played other sports, and going to a small school myself, you're kind of forced to play other sports just because of the low enrollment. So what other sports do you guys play, and how does that impact you in helping you with basketball, or how does basketball help you with the other sports?
I haven't played multi-sport over the past 2 years, but I have competed multi-sports throughout the year. I used to play soccer as well as basketball.
Okay.
And it definitely, I could say soccer for sure helped out a lot with like footwork and also keeping stamina and things like that. But I definitely say that participating in multiple sports at a time can definitely be very important. I'd say it shows a sense of commitment and a sense of hardworking abilities that are present in the student. So I think definitely for college, if you're trying to get into college, it could be something that could show up very well, I guess, on your resume or things
Indeed.
like that. So,
I haven't done multi-sport this year, but last year I did play soccer and lacrosse. I mean, soccer definitely helps us in terms of running, athleticism, footwork, things like that. And lacrosse really just helps in general in terms of physical toughness because you have people running at you 24/7, accuracy, power, all that kind of stuff. It really helps my basketball, but I also love the sport of lacrosse.
Lacrosse helps you learn how to beat people with a stick when you're in an alley, too. So, that could be a positive one day.
You never know.
Lacrosse looks interesting. I just never quite grasp it. But I always like, they have the best highlights.
Yeah.
When you're watching ESPN.
Oh,
man.
Dude, that's crazy, man.
Hey, just the balls to try it is another thing, Tell me this, guys. If you had a favorite athlete or person that you kind of look up to towards how they pursue their goals or their profession, who would that be?
Well, truthfully, for me, I know it's going to sound cliche. It's LeBron James, just
That's not
because.
cliche.
Well, yeah, you're right. Just because of all of his work in the community outside of like the sport of basketball, like his I Promise School or the stuff he
answer.
does towards just rights for people and for the poor, and I just believe he's a great role model and it means a lot.
I can definitely say one of the role models that I've seen coming up watching the NBA is Damian Lillard in terms of his work ethic and just once again, I kind of pride myself on commitment and trying to stay into things once I start doing it. So I definitely see him as someone who always tends to stay committed and always wants to do the most that he possibly can for his team. So
Okay.
For me, in terms of role models, it's Kobe Bryant because of the way that he attacks the game. He has his catchphrase "Mamba mentality," and me personally, I have issues with being lazy or not putting forward 100%. But
Good answer.
at that time, when I'm in that mode, I can just think, Mamba mentality. I got to get this done, or I can just power through.
The
Not
Mamba
working.
mentality works in every aspect of your life. That's what I like. I mean, I've never been a big Kobe Bryant fan. I became more of a fan after he stopped playing, and I know it's only been a couple seasons, than when he was playing. So I really like that the philosophy he has, and especially the other day he says he is past his basketball days, so he doesn't care who the GOAT is. He's going into my next field. I want to be the best at this. Once it's over, it's over. If you think I'm the best, that's great. If you think somebody else is the best, that's great. And just his attitude is really inspiring to me. And I'm a lot older than all you guys.
I can definitely agree with that as well. Growing up, I was a Celtics fan, so I wasn't. I was. I'm sorry. I apologize. So was he.
Where's your brother card, man? Give me your brother card.
Yeah. So I mean, watching him, I wasn't really too big of a fan. But then once he retired, I started looking back on all the things that he had done, and I really found a sense of respect for him that I didn't have in the past. And I definitely actually recognize him now as one of the greatest of all time, honestly.
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
There's very few players in the NBA, in the history of the NBA, that you can put in that same conversation that can just take over a game. Obviously, LeBron, Kobe, Michael, Larry, even. But I wouldn't put Magic. Yeah, I wouldn't put Shaq in that category. He was a great player. I wouldn't put Karl Malone in that category, and he was a great player. So there's just a handful. And the big thing about Kobe and LeBron is they both came out of high school. So that they didn't play 1 minute of college basketball. So that's very, very rare as well.
Very true, and those are good people that you guys picked.
All right, so let's. You guys are juniors, but you're going to start thinking about your senior year and beyond. I want to know: do you plan on playing basketball at the next level, whether it's JC, D2, D1, D3, whatever? And what would be? What do you think your course of study would be going into your undergrad?
All right. Well, of course, I would love to play basketball going further into like college. Who knows beyond then? Hopefully. Beyond them, but college for sure. I want to study business management. It's kind of broad, but that's kind of like where I'm at right now in my life.
It's not too broad because you can get a degree in that.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I like to keep like the broad category of business, and I might focus in specifically on something else. But yeah, I definitely want to play either at a Division II school or a Division I school, like small Division I. Talking to a few coaches now here and there, just hoping one day I can get there.
Work.
Exactly.
Work. That's it.
Yep.
Well, I mean, also same here. I mean, I would love to play basketball at a higher level. However, I wouldn't consider that necessarily my primary focus for college. What I've been wanting to do is go into pre-med. So
Good.
Yeah, that's really been what I've been trying to strive for, I guess, for over the past like few years. So
Nice.
yeah, I'd say that's probably my main priority going into college. But like I said, I would love to play basketball at a higher level.
I thought it was going to be something in communications because You speak very eloquently.
Thank you.
You remember, when you get to be a doctor, or a surgeon, or whatever your course takes you, you can always play those doctor pickup games and just school them, right?
Yeah, no, they can't handle it.
How about you?
For me, I don't see college basketball in my future plans. I feel like after my senior year, I don't see myself playing basketball anymore. But I would want to get my undergrad in economics because since a child, I've just been educated in money and the economy and how all that works. And I would love to get a job in that field.
There's nothing wrong with what you just said. You made it sound like not pursuing basketball is a mistake. You got to pursue what your heart tells you to pursue because that's how you become successful. You got to be in love with what you're pursuing. If you just like it, you're going to be miserable. So, and economics is a beautiful field because everybody needs somebody that knows something about money. Everybody. So that's great.
That's one thing. That's a great point that he made. You're always going to have that. Okay, nobody can take your back-to-back state championships away. But when you're our age, you're gonna make your mark, or you will have made your mark in the world on being an economist, being in the medical field, being a business person. David, one of the best football players ever to play high school football at the U of A, same thing. Great businessman now. He has his memories from high school, from Arizona, from the NFL, but he helps people in their business plans and whatnot. Helps them make money. So that's the mark that you're going to make. When you're our age, like David says, the stories get big. I had one leg cut off and I still won a state basketball championship, but you're always going to have those memories. But what you do as an adult is going to define you as a person. And all three of those areas that you guys want to study are remarkable and obviously well needed.
Well, the other thing is there's only a select few in the history of NBA and NFL that could live off what they did at that time. Almost, I think it's 1% of NFL players that I know about don't have to work after they play NFL. The other 99% do. So you got to do something. You still may be known as a great player, but you're still going to have to do something. So just food for thought, young man.
How we doing, producer? All right. Funny question time.
All right.
What is your favorite gas station food and drink? Now, I know you guys are teenagers, and I know you hang around QT and Circle K and Quick Mart.
Yup.
So, favorite gas station food and drink?
Oh, you can go first. Go ahead.
These two know me. I roll with that pineapple Fanta all day. Nothing else.
They had pineapple Fanta.
Yeah, pineapple. It's a thing. It exists. You should try it. It's really good.
I love pineapples.
Yeah,
It's like a soda. Like,
Okay.
it's really good.
I need next time you ever buy here, buy me one, because I don't even know. You said pineapple Fanta?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
in,
buy
I've
me
had
one.
orange Fanta, but I've never had
Buy me
pineapple.
they're in 7-Elevens everywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna look for one. If I get sick, I'm coming for you.
And for food, I'm gonna go with Snickers because you're not
Snickers?
you when you're hungry.
All right. I'm also kind of with the candy. I like kind of like the more fruit candy, so I'd say Starburst. That's what I normally go to. I like Starburst personally.
All right, drink?
And,
You're doing everything
drink.
to give up the brother card.
I'm
man.
sorry, man. I'm trying. I'm trying. No. And then I'd say probably for drink, what I like. I like Arnold Palmer. Pretty good.
That's
Yeah,
the first.
That's just.
There's
yeah.
nothing wrong. That's
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
all right. So as far as drinks, I have two. It's either Arizona sweet tea or Gatorade. Just plain and simple. And then for food, truthfully, pretzels. Like there's a QT right next to our school, and every day before practice, I go get a pretzel. We all go up to QT, and I'm always.
You're talking the big pretzels, not the bag of pretzels.
Well, it's just like a big pretzel they get from the little bakery.
Right.
So good. Cheese, salted, so good.
Have you ever had an EG pretzel?
I have not.
Check it out.
I love their ranch
One of the
fries,
few
though.
one of the few things that
Ranch
Eegee's is actually
fries.
good.
I love their ranch. But yeah,
You've taken
weird, right?
disgusting to a whole nother level. Great choice, guys.
One more recommendation. Yeah, now you got me on a tangent.
Can't get the
One more
brother card
recommendation.
back,
I'm trying. Hot Cheetos. Love hot Cheetos. I love hot Cheetos. Hey, I may be wrong, but hey, love hot Cheetos. Oh, my bad.
All right, man.
That's rude.
I'll give you half of your brother card back.
All right, guys. Like I told you before the show started, this is a nationwide broadcast. So here's your opportunity to say hi to anybody you want, whether they're in town or out of state. Here's your chance. Go ahead.
All right. I'd like to thank my mother and my father. Just for taking care of me, keeping me under wraps, and shout out to my brother, Weston Dubose, all the way up in Spokane, Washington. I'm not sure if he's watching right now or not, but yeah.
You didn't text him?
I did. I let him know. But yeah, he's a huge role model to me, so I'd just like to thank him for that as well. So
Good.
Shout out to my mom. She lives here with me in Tucson. Angela, I love you, Mom. And to everyone that's ever been there for me, thank you.
All right.
Shout out to my mom and dad, of course. I wouldn't be here without you. And shout out to the Woodhull School in Bethlehem, Connecticut, because I know y'all watching. I made it.
All right. Was that a mic drop moment or something? Congratulations, guys. State champions.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And since you guys are juniors, we'll be out there next year watching you. Go for the 3-peat. All right. We'll finish up our sponsors. We'll grab the last group of kids coming up. Simply Noted, mixing modern marketing techniques with an old school personal touch. Expand your business footprint by going to simplynotedllc.com. It's owned by ex-Wildcat football star Rick Elmore. Platinum Fitness, 3 locations around town, Ina and Oracle, Golf Links in Harrison, and the 24-hour location at 5800 block of East Speedway. If you're a nurse or you have a unusual schedule, check out that Speedway location. You can work out around the clock. Go to platinumfitnessaz.com. Right now you can join for $1 and there is no contract. So check that out. Tucson Speedway. I'm really excited about this. Wednesday we're going to have the NASCAR show right back here at Wings Over Broadway. This is one of our favorite shows, David and mine. Tucson Speedway is a very unique place, a very fun place, family friendly. Check it out on Friday night, Saturday. I don't think they race on Sunday, but a lot of the times on the weekend, they do have races, and it's very inexpensive to take the whole family out. If you want fast, furious fun, racing, crashes, whatever, check out Tucson Speedway. You can go to TucsonSpeedway.com. And definitely check out our show this Wednesday, day after tomorrow. We will have the drivers here. You guys want to come? We're going to have a NASCAR car out front. You can check it out, and it's just a lot of fun. So definitely TucsonSpeedway.com. And also one of our 602 sponsors, Cartwright's Modern Cuisine at 6710 East Cave Creek Road, north of Scottsdale. More than a restaurant, it's a true Arizona dining experience. Fellas, how you doing? I'm doing well. State champs. Gotta love that. We'll start with you. Give us your name, what year you are in school, and what position you play.
I'm Casey Lappin. I'm a sophomore. Play mostly shooting guard.
My name is Titus Palmer. I'm an 8th grader. I'm a point guard.
All right.
I'm Matt Harkins. I'm a shooting guard. I'm a freshman.
All right.
All right, guys. Did you say you were in 8th grade? Yeah. Wow. Starting early. Well, that's fantastic. So, are you guys looking forward to next season? So, get that another state championship ball rolling. What do you think as far as playing time and things like that is concerned? How do you think you're going to be able to compete?
Talking to the mic.
I'm asking you.
Oh, individually? Yeah, collectively, individually, team-wise?
I think that having 2 years of state championship a team for me that gives you a lot of experience, even if you're just mostly watching great players.
Right.
And I think all of us are going to have an opportunity to get playing time next year and hopefully get 3 straight.
Good. How about you?
Yeah, I feel like these past 2 years they've done really well, and I think I really like our coaching staff we have, and I like seeing how they work, and I think next year will hopefully be good, and I like how we're looking this year.
I mean, just practicing with the team helps. I mean, I've noticed like a lot of kids, they improve, like just practicing and getting in JV games. So I mean, I'm excited for next year. We're losing a lot of players, but that can be turned around. Like we can get a lot of players too. I feel like that's something like this year we were been surprised by some of the new players that came in. So I mean, that can always like change like the roster and stuff real fast.
Well, that's your opportunity to step up, and David will agree with that. You're losing senior players. Now it's your time to shine, and you need to put forth what you've learned sitting on the bench watching, going through drills and practice with the upperclassmen. All those things are going to come together. The light's going to go on upstairs, and you're going to say, now I know why Coach had us do this. Now it makes more sense. Sometimes when you're coming from 8th grade or you're a freshman or even sometimes a sophomore, things don't actually – there's no rhyme or reason in your mind because of the fact that you're kind of still new to it. But once you get you guys got a couple state championship kids that you played with, team that you played with. Now you have the opportunity to carry on that legacy and also make a name for yourself.
Tell me, do you guys have any particular person or athlete that you look up to as a type of role model that you like to emulate their game or some of their work ethic?
For basketball, I like Kyrie Irving.
Nice.
Like he's more of a pass to get a better shot than take a shot, more for his team. I prefer to do that than just take a shot. I'd rather get an open shot. So I like to move the ball around.
All right.
I personally enjoy watching LeBron James because I like how he is off the court and on the court, how he's a leader, and I like how he's just a good person in general.
It's a good role model.
I think I look up to all the seniors on our team, especially like their attitudes on the court and off the court. But I don't necessarily think I play like any sort of one of them. I know a player I like to watch a lot is Nico Mannion in high school, but I try to use some of his moves, but I just like the attitude our seniors bring on the team.
Nice. Okay.
Well, U of A fans will take a look at Nico next year when he comes in to Sean Miller's program.
Okay. So you say you more into assist than necessarily scoring points. That is such a big thing nowadays because the first thing anybody ever asks you, did you guys win? Yes. How many points did you score? Nobody cares about assists and rebounds and free throws and things like that. So that's really fantastic. I noticed that you guys have a great coaching staff. So is it more difficult to play for these coaches than maybe coaches that you had in the past because the practice or structure different, or is it just pretty much the same?
I mean, it depends. I've played for a lot of teams, and all the coaches are different. This year I'm playing for Dynasty, but branched off of Powerhouse. So that's actually luckily like one of our old coaches. Well, he was our coach for the first couple tournaments a couple weeks ago. He had a similar sense of coaching to my coach. The offenses we ran, the defenses we played, and all that. So we don't have him anymore, but that was kind of similar. So it just depends.
Okay.
I think our program is set up to improve young players like not a lot of programs are, because coach will tell you he didn't want to be coach of the year this year because he wants his players to do all the work. I mean, we have an hour of skills a day just to develop our ball handling and shooting, and then we work on defense mostly the rest of the practice. So I think the way our coaching staff sets up our practice is really good for improving players compared to how a lot of coaches run through plays all practice.
Okay.
There's a lot to be said for your coaching from 5th grade on up to 12th grade. I mean, that in itself shows you that not only he but the school wants to develop players. They're not going to wait till you're a freshman. They're going to get you when you're a fifth grader, sixth grader, junior high, and they want to start developing you. So when you get to be a freshman, because you go to a small school, you have the opportunity to play on varsity. You'll play a few JV games, but you guys always practice with the varsity.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Since we have such a small school, it runs from 5th grade all the way to 12th grade. It's kind of almost like a benefit because a coach, you can have the same coach for so many years, and it's not going to be a sudden change. You're going to be going through the same program, playing with the same kids, building that chemistry. So that's kind of something a lot of the kids that come from a middle school say. And our coach likes them and has already got like an early relationship with them. So I feel like that's a good, big thing.
Yeah, off of what Matt said, being able to have a coach as I'm in junior high, and hopefully being able to have him in high school if I play basketball, is great because you get to good relationships and get to know your coach more and kind of bond with him and have good times and with the teams and players. And it's nice having a 5th through 12 school because you're friends with everyone at the school. It's a small school. It's not like it's all separated. You're friends with everyone.
I did have the same. I had the same environment when I went to Palo Verde Christian.
I got a question. How many years can you actually play varsity? I thought it was only 4 years. Can you start playing varsity 8th, 9th, all the way through?
I believe it's only
JV.
Okay.
So you can play JV as a middle school. I'm pretty sure that's the rule.
You can't play JV as a middle schooler.
In the summer leagues, you can.
Oh, yeah, in summer leagues.
But you have to actually be a freshman or
I'm
above
pretty
to
sure
play
you have to be
high
in high
school.
school,
That makes
yeah.
sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other questions before I go to the funny question?
Let's go to the funny question.
Funny question time. All right. If you could be any superhero, who would you be?
The Flash.
Why?
He's fast.
Good reason.
Oh, man. Shoot. Probably Superman. Have everything there.
There you go.
Man, I'd probably go with Spider-Man. Just think he has the most swag of any superhero out there.
Okay.
Okay, that wasn't a bad choice.
All right.
Good
All
job,
right.
guys.
All right. We'll give you one more. Funny question. Any of you guys watch Walking Dead?
No.
Okay, so I can't ask that question. All right. I got one for you. You ever gone yard sailing with your mom? Okay, well, we're gonna hypothetically. When you're your age, it's not fun. I mean, it's all about what your mom wants to go get. You know what a yard sale looks like. Everybody drags all the crap out of their garage and tries to sell it to you. So your mom takes you yard sailing on a Saturday. Now you don't have a game, so what's the biggest thing you want to do on a Saturday when you don't have a game? Sleep, right? She wakes you up at 6 o'clock. Got to get to the yard sale. Got to get the good deals. Go fast, okay? So she's going to make you a nice breakfast. You're going to hop in the car, and you're going to go down the yard sale. You're going to sit in the car. You're probably playing on your phone or your iPad or something like that. So
Thank you.
you're watching your mom. She walks over, and she's looking at this vase to buy. Now, this is the ugliest vase you've ever seen in your life. And you're just like, no, Mom, no. And you're just like, I don't know her. Okay. Guess what? She buys it. Guess who gets to carry it home on the way because she's driving? Right? Okay, so you pull up into your carport, your driveway. She gets out of the car. You get out of the car with the vase. You stumble and fall, and the vase hits the concrete and breaks. Your first reaction is probably going to look at your mom, right? Okay. When you turn around, a genie came out of the vase. Now, this isn't a regular genie. This is a Walmart genie, okay? So you only get 2 wishes. The third wish you got to give to somebody else. So what would be your 2 wishes, and who would you give the last wish to?
I'd give the last wish to my dad. He had a lot of surgeries and stuff like that with his health. So hopefully he can get back to 100.
Okay. And your 2 wishes for yourself?
My 2 wishes for my parents, my family.
Well, not for you.
The,
you already gave one away.
Y'all go first.
Oh, man. So my third wish would probably be to my dad.
Okay.
Probably wish him even better future because, he's always there for me.
Okay.
He's always been there since day one. Man, my 2 wishes. Could it be, like saying like I wish that didn't happen, like that situation, or just in like general, like saying,
Just you want $1 million? You want a Ferrari? You want a new house? You want to go to San Diego? Or why? What wishes do you want?
First, I would hope for a guaranteed college, like guaranteed to college.
Okay.
D1 college, play basketball.
Second wish?
Second wish, it's a hard one. Dang, that's tough.
There's like 5,000 things I could think of that I wanted.
Yeah. Give me $10 million. Make that $20 million.
Well, mine would be like.
You guys.
I'm just trying to help you out.
Just throwing out ideas.
Definitely mine would be, straight off the bat, my first one would be to keep playing like basketball for the rest of my life.
Okay.
That's
All right.
I love the sport.
Okay.
Second one, to be whatever height I want to be.
There you go.
I would be 7'8" and go to the NBA.
Is it like Taco Fall?
I'll be the new Maneuver.
Taco Fall.
7'8". I'd do that. That's worth it.
All right.
Very unique when I like it.
All right, I'll donate my third wish to charity. Any needy kids out
Okay.
there. First one, I'm gonna be Nico Mannion.
Okay.
I'm gonna become Nico Mannion, and then I'm gonna wish for 3 more wishes.
Okay, I'll let you slide on that one. None of you said I would like to give the third wish to my mom because I broke her vase.
That's a good answer.
I think
He's still got one left.
yeah.
Oh.
Second wish would probably be related to basketball. So like, I would hope for like the most wet jumper you could probably ask for. Like you don't miss. Like you just like.
So you're 100% from the.
You just put it up and it's going in like Kobe.
Like Kobe.
Like you know it's going in.
Well, you'll be in the NBA then because if you never miss, they got to take you.
That's
Yeah,
right.
sure.
That's right.
Either that or 7'8".
7'8", you'd be in the NBA too.
You
So.
can't do anything without jumping.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We're going to give you one chance to shout out before we leave. I told you before the show, this is a nationwide broadcast, so it doesn't matter where the people live. If you want to shout out to them, here's your opportunity.
Shout out my Instagram. It's MATTMAJAT. Thank you.
Another mic drop moment here.
I guess I'll shout out my family.
Okay.
Thank you for all the opportunities. And I guess I'll shout out my Instagram at KASEYLAPAN.
You got one of those, David?
Instagram?
Yeah.
Somebody signed me up that I don't even know about.
I'll shout out my club team, Tucson Heat.
All right.
Like organization. And then I guess I'll give you my snap. Ty_Palmer1.
All right, so Tucson Heat, I want you to get a hold of your coach, and I will give you a business card and have him call me so we can get that team on, okay? Because we love club teams. All right? I want to thank you guys. Congratulations on your great season.
Way to go, my man.
There he goes. Mr. Mic Drop moment here. All right, thank you guys. Let's go for 3, okay? All right, thank you very much. All right, we want to thank the parents and fans that came out from the Gregory School tonight. Thank you so much. We really enjoyed having you. We definitely want to have other Gregory School teams on, boys, girls, whatever we can accommodate according to the schedules. You guys have a great institution, and we want to be a part of helping promote not only your school but your athletic programs as well. So once again, thank you to our sponsors. Pearson, thank you for a fine job producing. David and Bill, Tucson Sports, 520, a little bit of a twist. It's a wrap.